So there was the operation today. The Canadian was pretty cool because as we can see, it went almost to the fourth. It didn't touch the fourth. We can see that when it's normal, the deviations were very horizontal. They were pretty good, very good behavior. We can see here now if we want to expand, we got in this point. So what we have in the 30-minute chart, so we can see that the price went here to the third deviation and broke a little bit to the fourth, but it didn't broke four, so it's pretty good. After here, we have to look if we have in progressive disinterest in the four last ticks that we didn't have. We have in the first three. We have 1, 2, 3 here. It get a bit lower, but it's okay because that's one point that we couldn't. But it went to the fourth deviation here, and after here went red. If we put the break even at this point, even they get out, and if we see here in less than an hour, boom, directly to the VWAP. Almost all the value area touched everything, and almost went here to the another third deviation. Almost it touched here. We got another entrance to go in, so it was pretty good, pretty cool. As we like a third deviation in here, if we see in this exactly point where we took the entrance, the VWAP was under the POG, the way that we like it, POG between VWAP and price. And as we see, it's perfectly balanced, in very good equilibrium. The POG in the middle between the value area high and the value area low was pretty good. But as we see, it went a little bit down. It corrected itself, went down, almost touched here. If we close the operation here, it will be perfectly fine. It went up that maybe to cut all this stop loss that we got here, and later after here, boom, in half an hour we got, it was news that we got here like around 1300, around 1230 actually. Boom, it went down in less than half an hour. It touched the VWAP. If we see the charts of range, the range 10 where we can have the entrance where exactly we have to enter. Here we got a beautiful thing because there was no agreements pending of liquidation in this point. As we can see, that's a good point. And look how is the deviation. So we have the price goes according to the last candle, it goes up, so the price is positive, but now we have the pressure of the candle is red, so it's negative, and the delta is negative too. The volume delta was greater than 5, so this is another target to go in. And the volume of the last candle that we have, it was the increase of the volume in the divergence was even. We can say that it was lower, so there was a no-go. We got 2 of all the operations that we got from the 8 that we can choose. We have 2 no-goes. So what we can see, let's make the whole deal how it's going. We got the price in third deviation zone, perfectly fine. We have the price outside the value area. We have the VWAP of the last week is on our favor going. There's no VWAP against us, so that's perfect. If we see the ratio benefit here, when we took the entrance in this point, the ratio benefit from this point to this is higher than from this to fourth. It was almost 1/3, so it was 3 of benefit, 1 that we could lose. Now if we go to the divergence that we use the divergence of pressure or price. We got a divergence for price, perfect. Later the optionals that we have, that's obligatory. Now the optionals that we have the VA was perfectly balanced, a balanced profile. The POC was between the price and the VWAP, sorry. We got horizontal deviations, very horizontal, nothing about diagonal, nothing perfect. It was the maximum of the weekly season. We are on Tuesday, so it was higher perfectly than yesterday. As we see, there was no agreements pending of liquidation. We don't have an increase in the divergence from last candle. Here is 1938, here is 1920, so we don't have an increase. That is first no-go. From the 8 optional that we have, 6 no-go. Later, we have a volume delta greater than 5%. Yes, and later we have a progressive disinterest in the fourth last tick. You have to go back to the 30-minute chart. And they say here, if we expand a little bit, we can see that, yes, increase. No, we were looking for the 4. This is supposed to be like 393 or 300 or 400. So we got 2 that were no-go of 8. 6 were go. So it was a perfect entrance that I will describe later in my Instagram page. Thank you very much. That was today. We will see tomorrow what the Canadian do or the other markets. Have a good one.